There's no way any team could ever win a game without scoring points. In any game that you see, any sport that you see, if you only play defense, you would at best tie the game, but you would never win a game. We as believers and as Christians and as conservatives and as those of us who are trying to represent the kingdom of God, it's time for us to start playing offense. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Quan Teasy with the Christocrats and the Red Pill Reality here with another video. And I got a confession to make. The last video that I had up, I actually took it down because I had a conversation with my wife, and the video was really funny, and it was something that I put up. It was kind of roasting the liberals and Democrats and stuff, and it's it was kind of indicative of the frustration that I know a lot of us may feel with what's going on, and how the narrative is just continually gets put out there, and it's incorrect and it's wrong, and it's not what's actually going on. It's not, none of it is ever based on facts, and you just get frustrated, and you tend to play the game the way the opposition is playing. If you know anything about sports, you have to have your own game plan, and you can't let the opposition team dictate to you how you're going to play your game. You have to be confident enough in your own tactics and your own plan of attack that it's going to help you win. So how does that translate to us? In that video, I was making fun of people, which is okay, but I was doing the fun that I was making on it was a lot of it was based on like stuff that we wouldn't want them to do to us. And it was funny, but I took it down because we want to be, here at the Christocrats and the Red Pill Reality, we want to be honest, and we want to be consistent. And for too long, we conservatives have been on our backs against the walls, fighting off and playing defense and blocking and counterpunching. And we as believers at the core are called to take ground. The Bible tells us that the kingdom of God suffers violence, allows for violence, and the violent take it by force. What are we taking by force? We're taking by force ideology, society. We're taking by force people's hearts. And what I mean by force is the force of our argument, the force of the Spirit of God behind us. Because ultimately, all of this is going to pass away. Politics is going to pass away. But what we did for eternity is going to last forever. And it just so happens that in this day and time that politics is one of the main ways where the battle is. It's one of the main places where the battlefield is. The battlefield for the mind. Because if you can touch the person's mind, then they can change their heart. And if they change their heart, then they can come to the kingdom of God. And God tells us to be soul winners. And he that wins souls is wise, and we need to be wise. So this channel, yes, we are going to expose the works of the darkness, because there's a lot of it going on, and we need to do that. But we're also going to be on the offense. And what do I mean by that? We're going to tell you why it is important for you, those of you that are on the fence, why it's important for you to really look at things the way they are and come on over to our side. One of the main things I want to explain to you is that conservatism is more compassionate, more loving, more caring for the poor than the progressive movement would have you believe. If you were to look at everything that's on TV, every television show that is crafted to give you a certain message about Christians, about conservatives, about those who live by a certain code, or who think that there are absolute truths, there's a message that they try to send you that we are out of touch, that we are elitist, and we want to hold information and hold things back for ourselves, and not give to everyone. That we're holding some information, that we're holding some sort of thing, and we don't want to let it out to everybody. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the temptation that was given to Eve in the garden. The enemy, the devil, told Eve that God is holding back from you. God is because there were boundaries and rules, he told Eve that God is holding out on you. And he created envy. He created envy in her and Adam, and it caused them to sin. And the whole progressive movement is built off of envy. And we're going to talk more about that in other videos. But I just wanted to let you know that, encourage you that we have to go on the offense. We have the answers, y'all. We have the light. We cannot let them steal our smile, steal our joy, because we're fighting them so much. We have to show the world that there's happiness on this side. That when you conserve the things that allow for freedom, that it brings joy, it brings happiness, it brings a freedom. Is there issues that we have to deal with? Yes. Do we have to maybe reconstruct how we give our message out? Yes. But ultimately, the message that we brings freedom to people. And the message that they bring only brings more and more bondage, more and more reliance on man. That's what government is. Reliance on the government makes you rely on man. When you drill it down all the way to the bottom and you realize that what conservatism and Christianity and the right, what we boil it all the way down to, if we're honest and true, we believe that we get our rights from our Creator God. And what we end up doing is we end up individualizing our lives to the point where we rely on God who gave us our rights. They want you to rely on man who messes up everything else. They want you to rely on government, which is ran by man, which on liberal, Republican, Democrat, all of us have dirty hearts. All of us presented with the right set of circumstances could fail in major ways. And we see that all over. But when you don't rely on man and you rely on the Creator who gave you your rights, the one who never fails, the one who is always just, who is always true, then you can live a life that is prosperous, that is fulfilling, that best suits for the rest of society. Do we advocate for a theocracy? No. Not at all, because what that does is that takes away people's choice. But what we do advocate for is self-reliance leading to reliance on God. If that is where if you want to drill down all the way to the core of it, then that's where it will lead to. So I want you guys to know that on that side where there's chaos and people running up against walls and trying to scratch their way and banging and violence and anger and just gritted teeth, on this side, there is rationality and acceptance and love and opportunity and truth and boundaries that protect us. So that is the message that we need to get out. That on this side, on the conservative side, there is freedom. Over there is bondage. Over here it's freedom. And that's what we want to get you to know. So I want you guys to really go on this journey with us. Press that like button, subscribe button. I just had to make that distinction that on this side, we are not going to stoop to what they do. We are not going to be like them. We are going to be the lights no matter what they say. You know, on Facebook, on Twitter, you know, we know our stuff and we're able to combat these people, but let's not take pride in our superiority when it comes to the facts. But let's understand that these people, that there are a lot of people that are on the fence, and that they don't want to see the fighting and the anger, although that we need to stand up for what's true, but we need to realize at the end of the day, we need to speak the truth in love so that people can come to the kingdom. Love God, hate sin. Remember, we're not left, we're not right, but we are up.